Hey man, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com. In this video, we are going to look at the average retirement savings that people have by age group. We are going to use data from Vanguard, the huge investment and retirement investment company, specifically 401k balances that people have with Vanguard through their employers. And since they have millions of people using Vanguard of all different ages and all different incomes and all that kind of good stuff, these should be good numbers that we can sort of use as representative of retirement savings in general. Now, a quick word on the math. Oftentimes when we talk about averages, we are sort of using the word average to mean typical, but in math terminology, average actually means the mean, which is all of the numbers added together and then divided by the number of people. And so when we look at something like retirement savings, what tends to happen when we look at the average is that those one or two people that are huge outliers can bring up the average across the board and make it look like the average person has a lot more than they do. So we will look at the averages, but we're also going to look at the median numbers. And median, if you remember your math, is the number that is right down the middle, and that is more what you would probably think of when we talk about the typical person. So if you had 101 people, that person that is ranked 51st is going to be the one that's got 50 above and 50 below. That's going to be your median person, probably more typical in terms of representing the whole. All right, hopefully that makes sense. If not, ask me in the comments and I'll try to re-explain it to you. So let's get started with those different age ranges, and we'll start with the youngest people. So if you are under 25, the median 401k balance according to Vanguard is $1,948, which makes sense because people are newer to work. They're probably not making as much. They haven't had as long to save. Now you will see the difference between the median and the average right off the bat here, because while the median is $1,948, that sort of middle typical person, the average $5,236. So you've got some high achievers pushing the numbers up on average. And then the other age groups we'll all put in the same chart so you can sort of see how the numbers go up over time. In the 25 to 34 age group, the median amount in the 401k, $11,357. You'll see the average at over $30,000 for that age group. 35 to 44, it's $28,318 as the median, $76,000 plus as the average. So again, some high achievers pulling up that average. 45 to 54, it's $48,301 as the median number, over $142,000 as the average. And then 55 to 64, $71,168 as the median, with over $200,000 as the average. 65 plus, the median actually slightly down at $70,620, average a little higher at $232,710. Obviously 65 plus, we're starting to get into the place where people are starting to draw down their 401ks. Vanguard also split out the numbers in some other ways that do not go by age group but are still interesting. Number one, men versus women. On average, or at least the median, I should say, men $34,961 versus $24,714 for women. Again, that's across all age groups. If we looked at that on the average number, $136,977 for men on average versus $95,570 for women. And then we can also look across income levels. Logic tells you that the more money you make, the more money you're probably putting away toward retirement, and these numbers will bear that out. For people that make between $15,000 and just under $30,000, $4,568 is the median 401k balance. $30K to $49,999, $11,556. $50K to just under $75 is $31,064. $75,000 to just under $100K, $58,665. Over 100K but less than 150, you're at 104,155, and then those lucky souls making $150,000 or more, the median balance $201,301 in their 401ks. Now keep in mind that these are balances of people that have a 401k to begin with. Some people don't have any sort of retirement vehicle where they are putting money aside in any sort of tax advantaged way. They may be relying simply on savings and Social Security in retirement, and then even if you are putting money in a 401k, you are going to be getting Social Security in retirement, and maybe you're one of those lucky souls that gets a pension from your employer, and then of course any other savings that you might have that's not in a 401k is also going to factor into how much you have in retirement. Now, while you can use those numbers as a benchmark to see how you are doing versus other people out there, it is not necessarily good to use them as a benchmark for what is ideal when it comes to your own retirement, because most experts would tell you that the savings that people are doing right now are really not enough, especially if they want to have the same or similar lifestyle in retirement that they have during their working years. So there's a couple of formulas that you can use to sort of think about what you might want to have saved up in order to get that lifestyle that you want. So first off, let's look at a formula that Fidelity Investments suggests that you should use to think about how much money you want saved. Now, right off the top, if you think of retirement being at 67 years of age, Fidelity would tell you that you want to have 10 times the amount that you want to be able to spend per year in retirement savings at that point. So for example, if you are making $75,000 now at age 67 and you want to retire and continue to live essentially the same lifestyle, you're going to want 10 times that in your retirement savings, or $750,000. And then obviously you can do the math of what 10 times whatever the income is that you hope to have in retirement. Now, Fidelity also suggests that you can sort of use different benchmarks at younger ages to think about what you might want to have saved in order to kind of get yourself on the path to 10 times your current earnings at 67. Because for most of us, when we're 25 or 30, we're not right off the bat going to have 10 times our income saved up. So the way Fidelity looks at it is that you should strive for, when you are 30 years old, to have 1 year of your salary saved up toward retirement. So in this case, if you were making $75,000, you'd want to have another $75,000 saved up in retirement. At 35, they suggest it should be 2 times your salary. Again, if we use 75,000 as a benchmark, you'd want to have 150. And then as the years go by, you want to keep getting that number up. Hopefully your income's going up, so maybe it means that you can put more away. So at 40, they say 3 times salary. At 45, 4 times salary. At 50, 6 times salary. 55, 7 times salary. 60, 8 times salary. And then again at age 67, 10 times salary. And then another common rule is the 4% rule that says you can take out 4% of whatever that retirement savings is that you have, and you can do that safely over the rest of your life as long as you have your money in sort of a mix of stocks and bonds where you're going to continue to make some gains on the money that you do have. Now, what that means then is at 4%, if you have $1 million saved up for retirement, that's $40,000 that you can pull out safely in a particular year. Now, if you have $1 million, and we just talked about the 10x before, you would think maybe you could take out $100,000. But really, in this case, you're saying you take the $40,000 out safely at that 4%, and then you have Social Security that would be on top of that. Maybe if you're lucky, you have a pension from your employer, or maybe you have other savings as well. So whatever income you have in retirement could be a combination of what comes out of your 401k or other retirement vehicles and Social Security and any other money that you have. And then finally, as you think about all of these numbers, depending on how close to retirement you are, the value of $1 today could be very similar in retirement. But if you're very far from retirement, the value of $1 today could be very different. So if you're close to retirement and you're thinking about, a $75,000 or $100,000 lifestyle, you kind of know what that means. Even with inflation, it's probably not going to change that much over the course of the rest of your life. However, if retirement is 30 years away and you're thinking about having $75,000 as benchmark in retirement, you might actually need $150,000 30 years from now to essentially get the same buying power as that $75,000 would get you now. So you're also going to have to think about that over time. By the time you get to retirement, $75,000 might seem like nothing, and you're going to feel like you need an awful lot more in order to have the lifestyle that you want. So that is it for this video. Questions, comments? Put them in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. And as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. If you're not going to leave a comment or go to the website, another video that you might want to watch is right there.